Welcome to Toffee Review, your source for all things Everton. I got Paul and Terry here, and what promises to be a far less contentious segment than the previous one. So, guys, this story is from October 2013. All right, and this is kind of a remember when segment. The headline is Red Bull looking to buy English football club and take them into the Champions League. English energy drinks firm are looking to add an English club to their sporting portfolio and take them into the Champions League. Billionaires Red Bull want to buy a football club in England and give it wings. To make it big. So yeah, this is from The Mirror, by the way, and I think they're quoting Alan Nixon in The People, who I think now is with a different publication. Let's say that. The Austrian-based energy drinks firm are on the lookout for a suitable club, with Anglophile coach Ralf Rangnick, sporting director of Red Bull Salzburg, heading the search. As well as Austrian league leaders Salzburg, Red Bull already owns clubs in Germany, New York, Brazil, and Ghana. They were looking for an English team, and they were looking for a Premier League team. They didn't want a championship one. He said that you can spend fortunes there and not make any progress. So, strange story. And I actually do remember this because this was in my window of being a supporter. What would have been the advantages a move like this could have brought to the club? And then we'll go, let's focus on advantages for now. And then we'll talk about the intense drawbacks. So, Terry, you want to start with this one?
I can't see there being many. I mean, if it had have happened, more money to spend at a time when money went further would have been the key. We came into reasonable amount of money in the context of today, just as money was starting to be worthless. So we got a billionaire when billionaires were no longer all you needed to get by. The transfer market blew up after the Pogba deal and after the Neymar deal. So 2013, to have billionaires in charge, I suppose we would have been a lot further along in our development as a club than we are right now, because we'd have had a leg up on other teams with that amount of money. But that's probably not worth the drawbacks. But that would have been an advantage, I suppose.
Paul.
We'd have probably got rid of Chang beer a lot quicker than we ended up doing. We'd have saved ourselves 3 or 4 years of that. And yeah, as Terry said, we probably could have signed a £20 million striker when a £20 million striker would get you top 4, or signed a lot of players and probably progressed a lot quicker than we want to progress. But Red Bull, I mean, would you like the idea of being called Red Bull Everton? No.
You're not
That's
allowed.
a big
Everton.
one.
You can't be called Red Bull Everton. I don't think anyway. Maybe it's just in Germany, but that's why it's RB Leipzig, not Red Bull Leipzig.
Would you want to be RB Everton then? Do you know what I mean? If at the time this was during a period where we were still paupers, basically. Moshiri hadn't come along yet. It was still old Blue Bill in charge. We had no money. We're selling our best players every season. David Moyes is scraping by. Was David Moyes in chat? No, I think he just left David Moyes, hadn't he? But
it was October of 2013.
Yeah, it was just at the start of Martin's year, but it was during that period we were still seen as a team that was just punching above our weight and had no money every season. So I can see why fans got excited about the times. Like, oh, great, we're going to get our own sugar daddy. We're going to be signing great players. We're going to be finally one of the big boys again. But looking back in hindsight now, I think it would have been probably not the right move. I think the club would have lost a lot of soul had he done that, to be honest. And I think soul is a very, very underrated thing in modern day football.
Also potentially losing branding. That's one of the things you see. A lot of these teams, they change colors. And so what was that?
Yeah, your crest changes all the time, doesn't it? Your badge. Like they always we
probably wouldn't have had that monstrosity for the season.
That's the beehive.
Yeah, the Fisher Price badge couldn't have been any worse than that. But
I'll give you one positive. We could have not been RB Everton, but we could have been in the Red Bull Arena like a lot quicker. We could have a new stadium by now. I mean, it's all pie in the sky, but if you were looking for positives, that might have been one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that would have been nice. I don't know if it would have been a waterfront situation. You know what I mean? So that's the question, is based on our situation now, which is better than it was in 2013, worth the wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it was worth the wait, frankly. I'm ecstatic that we're not RB Everton with any kind of red on our shirts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Yeah, I think if you go back and say to most Evertonians in, let's say, 2012, the year before this, you can either be RB Everton and have the Red Bull Arena, a big brand spanking new stadium, and sign some 20 million, 30 million players now, and be that that team you want to be by 2015. But it means being RB Everton and losing a lot of what we class as the soul of the club. You can either be that now, or you can hang on 3 or 4 more seasons, and then you can have an owner who is based in Britain. We see him all the time. He's not some faceless figure from Germany, like I imagine a guy who would have run RB is. It would have been an owner who we see in the flesh, an owner who we hear from. We'll get a stadium on the waterfront again. I can't imagine any supporter thought that was going to happen after we lost the King's Dock. So you can either wait 5 years and have an owner who is a billionaire, he's visible, you know who he is, he's going to speak to us, and we can have the stadium on the waterfront again. Or we can have a new owner from Germany who no one's heard of, really, or no one really knows who they are, really. They just seem like shadowy figures. There's a good chance the club's name's going to change. There's a good chance we're going to get tied into a lot of commercial deals that people kind of don't feel comfortable with. So I think if you'd have said that to any Everton fan, they would be happy with what we've got now and not what we could have had then.
Yeah, it's a tough call when you're trying to consider the soul of what you're doing versus financial gain. That, I think, is a difficult question that most people have to face often. You know what I mean? So, the fact that our club had to deal with it as well. Same questions. Potentially, that's the thing. Did this actually happen? Was this actually a thing? You know what I mean? Like, I see the looks on both you guys' faces like you smell something. That's a good way of, yeah.
I would file this one under Vince McMahon wants to buy Newcastle. That's the greatest transfer takeover story I heard. Vince McMahon wanted to buy Newcastle. I think that's not too far behind this one.
That'd be great.
I like the idea of him bringing in The Undertaker as sporting director, and let's have X-Pac. X-Pac comes in.
A guest director of football every single week. Like they do.
Jim Ross stadium announcer.
They dictate all their player goal celebrations by making them do like wrestler celebrations. It's just, oh my gosh. Yeah, actually, this is starting to sound kind of fun, if I'm honest. Why didn't that happen?
Red Bull,
oh, no. Red Bull's a little different. That's less fun. All right, guys. So, this was a stroll down a possible memory lane. So I guess that's it for our Remember Red Bull Everton ? Segment. If you're digging the videos, please subscribe. We are constantly growing thanks to you people, and thanks for that. Check out these guys. You'll find them on the Liverpool Echo fan jury. And also, you'll find Paul with some pieces on the Toffee Blues website. Any other plugging I need to do on that, gentlemen? All right.
No, that's good.
Wunderbar.
It's rounded up perfect.
All right, so we have one more segment to do. So, transfer rumors from the past coming up, and bye.